Our past is marked by profound silence. From Göbekli Tepe's massive, civilizations appear with no trace of their origin.
Built 6,000 years before farming, Göbekli Tepe shatters our understanding of human history. Before the Sumerians, the Ubaid culture engineered irrigation. They drained the vast marshes and built eridu. They left a functioning hydraulic economy, long before humans discovered how to smelt iron from terrestrial ore. Civilizations were already using pristine iron weapons.
A 2016 analysis confirmed King Tut's dagger was forged from meteoritic iron. Ancient people weaponized cosmic debris millennia before the Iron Age.
Excavations revealed a massive destruction layer. It was a city-wide blanket of ash, soot, and charcoal, evidence of a sudden and violent end. At Tal el Hammam, excavations revealed a localized, city-wide, 1.5-meter-thick destruction layer. It was packed with ash, soot, and charcoal. Testing published in Nature identified shocked quartz. These display pressures of 5 to 10 gigapascals and vaporized mud bricks, and microspherules of iridium and gold.
The site was obliterated by a cosmic airburst in solid brick and stone. This event aligns with the destruction of Sodom, transforming myth into recorded catastrophe.
A massive iron slab fell from the heaven. It was a day of burning fire and a great cataclysm.
Modern surveys located 26 impact craters. Massive nickel-iron fragments date back 4,000 years. Indigenous cultures maintained highly accurate maps.
Textbook history attributes the collapse to famines, civil wars, and mysterious sea peoples.
However, global environmental, ice core, and dendrochronological data show a simultaneous worldwide climate shock that humans could not cause.
In 1159 BC, Iceland's Hekla III erupted. Now, scientists have linked this event to a prolonged solar dimming.
As ocean currents shifted, storm tracks rapidly diverted north of the Alps. Central Europe flooded under relentless rain, plunging the East Mediterranean into catastrophic drought.
The Sea Peoples were not a conquering army. Driven by a network of volcanic eruption that destroyed global agriculture, they fought simply to survive.
Researchers evaluated these central T-pillars. They reveal a precise path toward the stars. This changes our view of ancient astronomy.
Due to the precession of the equinoxes, the alignment shifts predictably over time. Enclosures A, B, a continuous R-star Sirius.
This axis is calibrated directly toward the rising sun. The pillars align perfectly with the rising moon, repeating once every 19 years.
Researchers processed the intricate reliefs through astronomical software. They decoded the symbols as ancient Western constellations.
On Pillar 43, ancient reliefs act as a fixed star map. By computing the sun's alignment with the vulture's wing, software locked onto the date BCE. This exact calculated date directly matches the onset of the Younger Dryas climate event, the rapid 1,200-year mini ice age recorded in Greenland ice cores around 10,000. Sustained warmth suddenly vanished. A brutal mini ice age took hold. Locked in Greenland's ancient ice is the record of this climate collapse. It happened in just several years. This temple was a stone memorial tracking the torrid meteor stream. Regional extinctions, forcing a transition from Huntonized farming.
The German Archaeological Institute strongly rejects the comet impact hypothesis. Our field data exposes critical structural and stratigraphic problems.
Physical remains suggest these enclosures were completely enclosed. Covered by heavy roofs, they couldn't track meteor streams.
These ancient pillars were repeatedly shifted. Moving them by hand created massive alignment errors. Modern coordinates cannot map this wall. The hypothesis that the enclosures were constructed simply to track the heliacal rising of Sirius suffers from a severe, compounding mathematical error margin that mainstream.
We have a combined sector drift error. Total drift error is plus or minus 3.7 degrees. Correct targeting vectors immediately.
Due to Earth's axial precession, coordinates shift.
Enclosure D was altered for over 500 years. During this span, the horizon point where Sirius rose shifted. It moved by more than 7 full degrees.
They call these static blueprints. But reality was far more dynamic. They ripped out and reset these massive pillars, just to keep them aligned with the stars. Göbekli Tepe looks out toward a distant southern horizon. Atmospheric dust creates a 1-degree extinction zone. Stars are invisible until they climb higher.
At this latitude, tracking a star exactly as it touches the horizon is impossible.
Any target alignment calculation that claims an accuracy margin tighter than plus or minus 2.5 degrees is a modern mathematical fabrication that ignores real-world physics.
Evaluating Pillar 18, the incoming comet motif. Alternative researchers claim its lower decradans capture a Pictorian celestial body. The artifact data sourced. Directly below the carved hands of Pillar 18 sits a high-relief U-shaped crescent, followed immediately by a solid circular disk.
Rather than a benign moon and sun symbol, alternative astros map this to a cometary coma and explosion profile. They argue that the pairing of this specific symbol
Rather than a benign moon and sun symbol, this maps to a comet explosion profile. The upside-down U-shape represents the incoming vector of a fragmented bolide entering the atmosphere.
The belt of Pillar 18 features a repeating sequence of the letter H, interlaced with a series of parallel lines.
This ancient H sign matches the early global ideogram. It marks the intersection of the galactic equator, a true sky portal or...
The ultimate proof of omitted complexity was published in a landmark 2020 spatial analysis. Researchers Avi Gopher and Gil Hockley applied an algorithm to...
The algorithm is complete.
It's a perfect equilateral triangle.
Sourced from the primary containment, the deviation was minimal. Across hundreds of meters, it was less than 0.5%.
Mainstream archaeology claimed Göbekli Tepe was built haphazardly, but this hard spatial data proves the exact opposite, a perfectly planned geometric masterwork.
Enclosures B, C, and D were conceived, surveyed, and mapped out as a single massive unified architectural project before a single stone was quarried.
It required a master architect, a standardized unit of linear measurement, and advanced geometric surveying techniques thousands of years before the invention of the wheel.
Because the site was deliberately, meticulously backfilled and buried under thousands of tons of dirt, gravel, and animal bones by its own creators around 8000 BCE, we cannot verify their psychological motive for the burial, or burying aligned with the stars, or burying a monument whose warnings had come to pass. Forcing our independent spatial decoding technique onto the physical stratigraphy and reliefs of Göbekli Tepe reveals that the backfill is not a random pile of dirt covering a template.
Instead, our independent reading of the symbols and the raw geological data proves that the backfill was a highly calculated, structural, slow-burn metabolic engine.
The builders used millions of highly organized organic feast scraps, burnt wood fragments, and fractured stone masonry to incrementally stabilize, seal. When we isolate the chemical and tactile composition of the 500 cubic meters of matrix bearing enclosure D, the data completely disproves a single cataclysmic environmental forest fire.
These stratigraphic reports from the DAI confirm the matrix. It is a dense mix of limestone rubble and flint tools. Millions of animal bones were cracked specifically to extract marrow. Assessments prove this burial was not a single, panic-driven event. The material was deposited in successive phases.
Older monumental circles were shored up with refuse. This prevented structural collapse from hillsides, allowing rectangular rooms to be built on top. Tier 1 reveals monolithic enclosures. Tier 2 contains millions of feast bones. Tier 3 caps the sun. Applying our method, we must bypass modern symbolic interpretations, breaking down the architecture of Pillar 18, viewing this central monolith as an operational device.
At Göbekli Tepe, Pillar 18 reveals an ancient anatomy,
The T-head defines the horizon vault. Glyphs and fox pelts converge at the equator.
Standard art history claims the T-shape is a stylized, faceless human ancestor. Our structural decoding proves the T-head functions as a physical horizon line marker. The wide horizontal capstone represents the boundary of the visible sky vault. The wide horizontal capstone represents the boundary of the visible sky vault. The vertical shaft connects the ground directly to that sky ceiling. In early Near Eastern cosmic art, the fox represents a low-angle, fast-moving atmospheric bolide, matching the grazing entry of the torrid stream.
Calculated to hit the regional sky, the torrid fragments entered at a grazing 6-degree angle. This was an ancient cosmic encounter. At Göbekli Tepe, Pillar 18 reveals an ancient mystery. The belt buckle features repeating, interconnected H-glyphs. Flanked by crescents, they form a spatial gridlock. The H is a functional spatial coordinate sign, representing two parallel pathways linked by a central gate. The crescent loops flanking.
These crescent loops operate as phase brackets. The symbol dictates a time window. It marks where the lunar cycle intersects the stellar grid. This is the secret of Göbekli. Mainstream history looks at a buried site and assumes it was destroyed by enemies or abandoned in fear. By reading the physical data, we uncover a different mechanism, the ritual retirement of a cosmic compass.
Because Earth's axial precession continuously rolls the night sky backward every 72 years, built to track a star group will inevitably out of mathematical alignment with a heavy, fixed stone monument built to track a star group will inevitably drift out of mathematical alignment within 3 generations. They did not abandon Göbekli Tepe because they lost their faith. They buried the enclosures because the sky moved. The builders did not abandon moved. Once a pillar no longer targeted its designated star, the structure was deemed dead. This was their method. They packed the outdated stone circles. Thousands of bones became a literal organic lock, sealing the dead coordinate. To build a Göbekli Tepe was not a lone cathedral. It was the anchor of a regional tech network, known as the Taş Tepeler.
Applying our structural action technique to the surrounding 200-kilometer zones that multiple contemporary sister cities were sharing identical masonry blueprints, trading rare volcanic obsidian at the same time. Modern excavations have mapped out at least 12 distinct sites. These pre-pottery Neolithic sites were hidden in the rugged hills.